The Conjuring house. Is this a scary one?
Yeah. But we have another blessing, so.
Oh well, it's all good then. Also, my office is actually haunted.
What?
I don't know if it's because of us, but the basement light is always on in the morning. And, like, Nicole and Sarah will, like, specifically turn it off at the end of the day and then come in the next morning and it's turned on.
I don't think it's because of us. We didn't do any scary
Oh,
ones.
We just had, like, started. I don't know. It's just an old building.
Yeah, that is true.
And I was like, it has to be ghosts. This eerie farmhouse, the real Conjuring house, was once home to the Perron family, who experienced years of relentless haunting. Strange noises, shadowy figures, and sinister occurrences tormented them. But the most feared presence of all was the Bathsheba, an angry spirit said to have cursed the land. In this episode of Tea Tales and Talks, we dive into the Conjuring house.
She's British and Irish and Scottish.
I have all of the European accents blended into one. Episode
Today,
9.
we are conjuring up some seriously spooky shit.
Ooh. Ooh. So spooky.
Welcome to Tea, Tales, and Talks, where we talk about spooky things, drink some tea, and try not to get too scared. I'm Sarah, I'll be your host.
And I'm Mackenzie. I'll be your co-host.
For these strange and occasionally unsettling tales. In this episode, we're diving into the absolutely terrifying story of the Perron family and the case that inspired. I thought I saw you look at me like...
I did, because I heard
absolutely
you go
terrifying.
absolutely terrifying, and I think this goes against our contract.
This is a clause.
Our verbal agreement of me doing this podcast, and she just goes absolutely terrifying. I think the hell not. I'm gonna start crying. No.
Okay.
Mildly.
Don't worry.
Spooky.
No, I promise it's gonna be good. Okay. In this episode, we're diving into the absolutely terrifying story of the Perron family and the case that inspired The Conjuring. So grab a haunted cup and join us for this incredibly spooky case. If you're anything like me, and you're into horror movies and spooky things in life, odds are you've probably seen or at least heard of the movie The Conjuring. Listen, I say me because Mac here does not like scary movies.
No, I don't.
She doesn't like horror. She doesn't like spooky. She's a host of a spooky podcast, and she doesn't even like spooky.
I'm here for the comedic relief.
She's here for the vibes.
The vibes, comedic relief, and just witchiness. I like
The
witchiness. Spooky. Working on it.
It's okay. This episode is going to be really fun. Did you know that the Conjuring movie is based on the real-life case of haunting happenings to the Perron family? This case has everything. I mean, poltergeist activity, a succubus, tales of a witch, horrifying hauntings, and even the Warrens were involved in this case.
Damn.
Okay, so because this is such a heavy and scary episode, I want to say a little tiny protection blessing for us and all of our listeners. If you aren't interested in hearing this, you can skip forward about 2 minutes. Straight into the spooky you go.
Yeah, we do not claim any dark or negative energies. Only beings of the highest vibration of light and love are allowed to be around us and anyone listening. Let the source shower us in all divine light of protection, dispelling any and all negative energies. Discussing these topics is not an invitation. We are simply relaying the events and experiences of others. With every breath, positivity attracts and negativity repels. And so it is.
Amen. Okay, I think maybe it's a good idea to give a little warning before we start. This episode may be one of our scarier ones. Again, this is mostly for Mac, who doesn't actually like being scared.
I think we're recording this in the middle of the day. And the sun's out.
The sun's out today.
So it's perfect. Let's talk about The Conjuring. Perfect.
Okay.
My eyes might be closed for most of it. It's okay.
We're not watching the movie. It's gonna be okay.
It's pretty much watching the movie.
Don't visualize.
How can I not? Let me just...
Plug your ears.
Let's get this thing going. Tell me about this spooky house. Spooky.
Okay, so the spooky is... First, I want to talk a little bit about the house itself for a moment, because its own history is way more extensive than just what happened with the whole Perron family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're putting on our historian caps again today. For real this time. So this house was built in 1736, which is over 200 years before the Perrons even bought it. Even before the construction of the house, the Richardson family owned the land that it sits on for generations. The original estate property was over 1,000 acres, but bits and pieces were sold to other people living in the area at the time. So it's what it is now, where the house sits now. It's like a really tiny bit of land, but it used to be huge. This house was around during the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the American Revolution, which we talked a bit about in our very first episode. Go check that out if you haven't already. The Civil War, World War I and II, the Industrial Revolution, and many changes of hands in ownership. So the ownership of the land and the house were passed down through generations and marriage of the Arnold family. These people are believed to be the ones who constructed the house that sits on the land, and are said to have had 8 generations live in that house over the years.
Wow.
It's not clear if the Perrons bought the house from one of the Arnold family descendants or another owner at the time, but they lived there from 1971 to 1980. The Perrons sold the house in the early 80s, and those owners lived in and owned the house. They even had a home daycare there at one point, until 2019, at which point the infamous Arnold house became the quote-unquote Conjuring house. Okay, now we can get into the spooky story.
Ease into it, please.
Okay. I will as best I can, although this story, they start off running.
Got it. Perfect.
So, interesting things were happening before the Perrons even moved in to the house. Even in the way that they found and bought this house. Andrea Perron, she's the oldest daughter of the Perron family, expressed it as some kind of divine alignment and series of circumstances that led them to this house. Okay, so the Perrons move in 1971, and unfortunately, some weird things would start happening on move-in day.
Perfect. Let's just start off day one.
On move-in day, all of the Okay, I did not give a good backstory for the family.
Okay, Summer, what's in the family?
I think there's 5.
What's in the family? Who's in the family?
What's in the family? Okay, the reason I didn't give a lot of backstory is because this story is very long, and I didn't want it to be 5 hours
fair.
of recording, although it will be that much.
Uh-oh.
Okay, but the Perron family consists of the mom and the dad, and I believe that it's 5 daughters.
It's a lot of
girls.
It's a lot.
So, I will talk about Andrea Perron a lot in this. She's kind of like the main spokesperson for the whole family, and she's into a lot of like paranormal stuff, and she gives a lot of interviews and talks and things. The other ones I won't mention as much. Not that they're unimportant to the story, it's just that I have to kind of pick and choose the details that I'm going to talk about, because it's a lot. Okay. But if I mention the names, I'll mention like, oh, this is a sister. This is one of the sisters.
Okay.
But there's 5 girls.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so on move-in day, all of the sisters saw the same man who they thought was a neighbor or a mover helping the previous owner move all of his stuff out of the house. But one of the sisters said that she had watched him literally disappear in front of her eyes. And they really thought that it was just a man, like he was just in the house helping. And they all saw him, but the parents didn't see him. But all of the girls were like, no, like that guy, like who is that guy?
He was there.
And then one of the sisters claims that she literally saw him de-manifest. I don't know what's the
like
opposite.
Fade into like literally dissolve into the like air.
Dude disappeared. Okay, in front of her eyes. So that's day 1. Okay.
That's a lot.
They also noted that on the day of moving in, their dog was not wanting to enter the house at all.
Another red flag. We're not buying.
No.
We're not moving in.
I will always take that as a sign because we know, like, animals can sense things that humans maybe
They can't.
So I believe the dog.
Mm-hmm.
So that is day 1. That is day 0, actually, because they're moving into the house.
They haven't even fully been overnight.
No. So day 0.
Gosh.
From then, at first, weird things started with, like, a couple strange noises here and there. Mm-hmm. Some things would move unexplainably or disappear unexplainably. The parents account early on that a broom would often disappear and then reappear at a later time in a different place. So
that's kind of crazy.
That, I would say, is kind of like your classic, like, yeah, there's ghosts in the house. Like, weird things are happening.
Moving.
It's not like...
Not being there. Being there.
Mm-hmm. It's not a huge, like, I wouldn't consider it a red flag.
The lights.
But it's there. But, like, something's there, right? So, Carolyn is the mother. Carolyn Perrin. Noted the reoccurring sound of something scratching against the kettle on the stove, which is kind of creepy. The family would also find random little piles of dirt, like,
what?
In a room that they just cleaned.
Like, 'cause the broom.
Maybe.
They took the broom.
The ghost is cleaning on their own.
The ghost is just sweeping up after them. Interesting.
They're like, you guys are not doing a good enough job.
You missed a spot.
So they would, like, clean a room, leave the room, go back in, and there would be a little pile of dirt or, like, dust or whatever.
That's so weird.
Which is, like, obviously, like, I just cleaned this. I was just here.
Yeah.
So, like, weird things are going on. The family didn't immediately think that this was paranormal or haunting related. I mean, the farmhouse was old. It was built in the 1730s. So, like, weird noises and the general creepy aura comes with that territory.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say, like, the moving things, the, like, I don't know, a lot of it is kind of explainable. Like, you can kind of explain it away.
Justify it, yeah.
I will say that it was said in my research, when they purchased the home, Andrea Perrin, the oldest daughter, says that the old owners knew there was some sort of activity happening in the house. So they were aware of it when they sold the house, and the old owner even told Roger, the father, to keep the lights on at night. Quote.
Sorry, I'm not interested in buying the house anymore.
Sorry, you can keep it.
Yeah, it's actually
Here are the keys back.
It's all yours. I'm good. Thank you.
Andrea Perrin alleges that the neighbors also told them, well after they had moved in, that this house had a reputation for being haunted, which nobody had told them before purchasing the house.
A real estate agent. Was that a thing back then?
I don't know. Yeah, in the 80s? I mean, in the 70s, for sure.
They just really wanted to sell the house.
They wanted to sell that house and nobody wanted to tell them. Okay, so at this point, slowly the activity begins to increase.
More than it already has? Like, it's already feels like it's going on pretty heavily.
Hold on to your bootstraps.
Oh, no.
What was once the odd, strange noise soon became loud footsteps and doors creaking throughout the house. All of the girls began seeing shadows and some ghostly apparitions, and they even account seeing their doors slowly opening on their own.
No, thank you.
The younger sisters would hear whispering in their shared bedroom, and one of the sisters, Cindy, I think that she may be the youngest one, claimed to have had her bed surrounded by spirits in the middle of the night, all saying over and over again, "There are 7 dead soldiers buried in the wall."
That's so specific.
That is so specific. And, like, for a kid to say that.
Point them out, bitch. Prove it.
Like, damn.
Open up these walls. Take them out. I don't want them anymore.
Take them back. I don't want
them. You can have them. Ugh.
The younger girls would say that a woman would come to kiss them goodnight, and they knew that it wasn't their mother or their older sister because this woman smelled like fruit and flowers, which was evidently not the same as what their mom smelled like. Like, you know what your mom... This wasn't their sister or their mother.
It was some rando woman.
Yeah. It's noted that the family didn't really even feel anything negative with all of these experiences, as it became sort of a normal occurrence for them. It's just part of
it's just the house.
everyday life.
It's just your Tuesday, you know?
But this harmless paranormal activity would soon become something much more terrifying for the entire family.
And Mackenzie.
And for Mackenzie.
I'm terrified. We're in the day. We're good.
This is only the beginning.
Awesome. I know. I see where the little bar is in relation. Oh, fuck. I also would like to point out the fact that we are seeing multiple and different kinds of beings and ghosts. It's not just one.
Yes. Actually, that's a good point. It's not one thing that's...
There's like a woman, there's a man, it's like a whole family.
Yeah.
Just in there.
I wonder if this place is kind of like the mystery house, like we talked about. Maybe like a portal.
Mm-hmm. And it's just a hub. It's on the ley lines.
Yeah, it could be. Very well could be.
Of the spirit highway. Yay!
As benign and harmless and nonchalant some spirits can be, parents...
That's not this one. It's not this house right here, obviously.
No. The parents learned there are entirely opposite kinds of spirits as well.
I'll take the nice ones, please. Thank you.
So what kind of sparked the turning point of all of the paranormal stuff was when the sisters would all experience their beds shaking violently at exactly 5:15 a.m. Sometimes accompanied by a little boy crying for his mother.
Oh my god, so fucking scary. Oh no.
And the girls would see in the morning or well into the day that their big grandfather clock that I think was in the living room had stopped at 5:15.
I don't like that.
So this wasn't like a perceived this was happening at 5:15. It was like, no, something happened that made the clock stop. And this was like a reoccurring thing.
Did anything happen on May 15th in the house?
Oh, that's a good question.
Dun dun dun! I need to make it into a mystery so I don't start crying.
Okay.
I will. If I have a nightmare tonight, I will not be a happy camper.
She's gonna call me.
I'm gonna fucking call you. Bitch! You ruined my sleep.
You ruined my life. I'm so scared.
I'm up. You're up. We're up together. Someone wanted to tell me about the Conjuring house.
We'll watch. It's okay. We'll watch like Teletubbies after this or something. It'll cancel out the spooky. Okay.
I'm a like Scooby-Doo kind of spooky.
I know. Okay, so apart from that, like that's kind of no big deal.
It's just the house.
It's just the house.
The old house, you know?
Making everything shake and the clock stop at 5:15. No big deal. In addition to that, doors would slam shut on their own, and they would occasionally get a horrible whiff of something that smells like rotting flesh. We know
that's the sulfur.
That's never a good sign. It wasn't just the daughters experiencing these things, though. Carolyn and Roger, the parents, would recount also seeing apparitions and hearing weird noises and having their things disappear on their own. They noted... Okay, trigger warning, this is scary. They note on one instance, both of them had awoken to the ghostly figure of an old woman by their bedside. They reported hearing an unexplainable mumbling saying to them, get out, I'll drive you out with death.
Ugh. You know, you don't have to ask me again. I'm gone.
Okay, bye.
Alright, that's all I have. Sorry, the man that disappeared on day 0.
That would have been it for you.
I would have been gone.
So, Andrea says that one element in the film, The Conjuring, which is the part where sadly their family dog died mysteriously, this was actually true.
I hate when they hurt the pets in the movies.
I know, me too. But this is the weird part. She says that she never wrote about this incident, and she has no idea how the writers of the Conjuring movie got this information. So she said, kind of, it's unclear if somehow they knew about this, or if they were kind of trying to make it like...
even more scary.
Like a stereotypical horror movie is something bad happens to the animals.
It's
right?
like a precursor to something bad's going on. Yeah.
It's kind of like a signature, and because people have a soft spot for animals, obviously. That's really interesting. Something super crazy as well. Before they moved in, And before they even knew about this house, they got their dog, right? And the mother, Carolyn, named the dog Bathsheba. This will come into play a little bit later on. Okay, so this is also around, I'm saying around the time because there isn't really a distinct timeline of events. It's more so like event points that have happened throughout their time living there. Where things kind of start to increase and change. So around this time, the youngest daughter would see the spirit of a little boy, and she described this figure down to the color of his eyes. Damn. I mean, she really saw this, and she said they would play together, and apparently he told her his name was Oliver Richardson.
Well, we have a name.
We have a name. And remember how I said the Richardson family owned the land?
No, I didn't remember until you told me. Wow, I have a shitty girl, I'm so scared I didn't remember. Trying to keep everything.
It's okay.
Sunshine, roses up in my head right now.
Although everybody was experiencing things, it seemed that the little sister Cindy was the one being directly targeted for a lot of the things happening, and she was frequently attacked.
Do you think this is because of her age and being like that it's widely known, common for that the younger you are, the more likely you are to see stuff?
Like susceptible? Maybe. Yeah. Maybe it's similar to the other spooky case that we talked about, the Devil Made Me Do It case with the little boy. I don't know if kids are just more vulnerable or more susceptible to that kind of stuff.
Different frequency.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It could be just that they're more open. They don't know how to they don't have the like energetic filter for things, so they're easier to get at, maybe. Well, this wasn't enough to drive them out of the house.
Well, they're freaking stubborn, because I would have been long gone.
Carolyn decided to look into the history of the house and try to find and understand what was causing all of these things. Like maybe there's some sort of event that happened.
There has to be. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so in the movie, and kind of like the rumors around the history of the Conjuring house, is that there was 3 suicides, 2 drownings, a murder of a little girl, the death of 4 men that froze to death, a lot of soldier deaths, and some other things.
This is a really old house, so does kind of make sense to have all of this happening in one place.
Now, I am paraphrasing those things. A lot of them were more gruesome, but those were kind of the main deaths that people kind of assume happened, I'll say. So I'm mentioning these things because they're kind of like mainstream knowledge of what happened here, but there's a lot of historical evidence that suggests most of them, if not all of them, are not actually true. And a lot of these things are from this Black Book of Burnsville, which is the little town which the house sits in.
Okay.
There was this little black book, which was, I guess, allegedly recording, like, deaths and events and things, right? Maybe deaths, right? Black book, whatever. But
it's population, yeah.
It was just a person writing it, and there's no like historic evidence, like genuine evidence to back this up. Yeah.
Oh. So it's just speculation that it existed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So through my research, this is what is true and is documented.
Here are the facts.
These are the facts. Okay. So first, a man named Jarvis Smith died on the property due to exposure to the elements in 1901. One woman died by suicide off of the property in 1886. She was a woman named Susan Arnold, who was married to one of the Arnold descendants. A man poisoned himself to death, which may have also been off of the property in the 1800s, and he happened to be named John Arnold, though it's not clear if he is an actual relative. Lastly, the most infamous of them all. Honestly, this is quite irritating and sad to me, personally. In 1885, a woman named Bathsheba Sherman died of a sudden attack of paralysis, which back then was probably describing a stroke.
Or a seizure.
Or a seizure. Yes. Now, her name will come up quite a bit in this story, and I'm not trying to discredit or take away from anything, but I do want to say that Bathsheba was a real person whose name has been brought into this thing under the pretense of her being a witch, a Satanist, and a murderer, which has not been proven to be factual. I'm not saying it 100% isn't, but
It's not proven.
With the evidence that we have, it's hearsay.
It's up for debate.
The only thing that is possibly up for debate...
Oh.
Oh my god.
Well, it's like I already read it, guys. I didn't, though.
Is that she was accused of being involved in the death of her neighbor's child, which was never taken to court or proven to be true, and there's actually no evidence that she ever lived or died in the Arnold house or on the property. So she was just someone who lived in this little town.
Okay.
Maybe next door. Maybe
down
like
the street.
We don't know for sure. And obviously this happened so long ago. Even if there was records of what happened.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Maybe they don't exist anymore.
They've been so, like, mistrued. Like, also, it's just, like, passing down, like, stories generation to generation. It's not always going to be 100% what happened.
Okay, so I had said previously that this house stood through the American Revolution and the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that there is a potential that some soldier spirits are there. Am I stupid, or did I mention where the house is from? I think I didn't mention it. Well, it's in Harrisville, or Burnsville is like the smaller town, like they're the teeny tiny towns.
Yep.
In Rhode Island. So I think Rhode Island is a little bit too east for like the Civil War and things that were happening. Okay, listen.
Do not know American geography at all. I barely know Canadian. I do not know American at all. Respectfully, I cannot help you.
Just take my word for it, okay?
I will. I will.
Maybe it's not correct, but
you know,
it is what it is. Okay. So my whole reason for this is saying that there maybe are soldiers there, okay? We don't know. And as we all know, the land we inhabit now and then, including the property owned by the Richardsons and the Arnolds and the Perrons, is actually stolen land that was originally populated by the indigenous tribes of that area. So that being said, it is also a theory / possibility that some elemental or nature spirits or indigenous related spirits may be haunting the property.
That makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense to me.
It's like crystal clear to me. I'm like, that's it. That's it.
We found it.
Mystery.
We solved the case.
Solved. Tea Tales and Talks.
Okay.
Solved the Conjuring house. You're welcome.
That's a wrap. We have to end the podcast.
Period.
We solved it. Also, the house itself being over 200 years old, which was owned by 8 generations of the same family, who at the time most likely lived and died in the house. It's not unlikely that happened.
Yeah, it's not like they're going to like hospitals or hospices or anything.
Of course not. And that being said, there aren't nearly as many tragic deaths as suggested in the film or in the media.
Which makes sense.
Yes.
They gotta over embellish to get people to like feed into it, right?
It gets people excited for a scary movie.
If there's like a lot of things that happen and it's kind of like a crazy, like, you won't believe what happened. Blah, blah, blah,
yes. Okay, back to the story. So at this point, it seems that Carolyn's digging into the past made the hauntings increase in both activity and in violence. Now, I will say that Andrea Perron herself said most of the activity and experiences were quick and short-lived, so it was more so an accumulation of, like, split-second things happening. It wasn't really, like a couple, like, long events.
Hours of this thing happening.
It was kind of, like moments here and there that were, like, a door opens, there's footsteps, you see something and then it disappears. Which
to me just like proves even more that there's like a spirit, if not more than one spirit's there. I was like, the frequency?
The frequency, yes. That's true.
I'm not playing with that.
It really is like multiple spirits kind of like flashing in and flashing out.
Coming out, like portaling, kind of tapping into our dimension or whatever. That's why I'm here, guys.
The father, Roger, claims to have felt a cold presence behind him whenever he would venture into the basement to fix the constantly failing heating systems. So
it's an old house. I don't I understand it failing.
One of the interviews I watched of Andrea Perrin, she said that the heating would crap out conveniently when the dad was home. It was working fine whenever he was gone. This will kind of come into play a little bit more in the story. I don't want to give too much away, but it seems like some of the stuff also was revolving around the father, but in a different way.
Oh, like the ghost has daddy issues. Yeah, that's it. I got it. I figured it out again, guys. God damn, we're on a freaking roll.
At this time, things were still moving on their own, and that awful smell would come and go frequently. At this point, Andrea Perrin, who is sort of the mouthpiece, like I said, for the entire family and everything that happened with them. This is really sad, also, and trigger warning with perhaps some not nice things. She said that herself and her sisters began experiencing attacks at night by a darker male spirit. She said that it was really bad, and she never gave specific details about these encounters because it was so horrible for them, but a lot of people kind of put the dots together.
Pieces together, that's
something like...
Yeah.
So the family claims that they began feeling pinches and pokes quite frequently by an invisible force.
Acupuncture. Guys, I'm sorry, I have to do it. I gotta get through it one way or the other.
Carolyn soon became the primary target of the more dark and violent attacks.
It's kind of like shifting the target, eh?
It feels almost like one spirit or a couple of them will focus in on one of the family members while the others focus on somebody else. So it's like 100% proves that it's not just one entity.
Yeah, there's multiple.
Well,
and how long have they been at the house for? Sorry. Do you know?
It was from 1971 to 1980, so it was 9 years in total.
Oh, that's so many more than you should have been there for.
Should have. But I will explain why they do have, as a family, a justification for this.
For staying.
So, Andrea Perrin is noted saying this malevolent spirit perceived herself to be the mistress of the house and therefore viewed Carolyn, the mother, as a threat. She also said that this particular spirit was most likely not Bathsheba and has been around long, long before. So, in the movie, they portray it as one spirit. I will, of course, explain why that is, but the general consensus was always no, it was this one lady. She was a witch.
And haunted the house.
And haunted them, but that's not true.
Got him.
So, things like, this was what was happening with Carolyn at this point. Things like extreme fatigue, unexplainable bruising, depression, always in extreme pain. She was being pushed and shoved by invisible forces. Things were constantly being thrown at her or trying to hurt her. There was even one instance that was witnessed by a neighbor that came over, and they said Carolyn was being beaten with a coat hanger extremely violently by, again, something invisible. So she was really, really being targeted. Andrea even explained that her mother began to age rapidly while living in the house. So she was only around 29 when they moved in, and it was literally like her life force was being drained from her. Like Hocus Pocus. You know how the witches are they suck the life out of you? And she began to look not like herself and a lot older. So this particular increase in activity is thought to be tied to when Carolyn opened up all of the fireplaces in the home, which had all been sealed for some unknown reason. Given the house was very old and very cold all the time, she wanted to use them.
Get some heat in this thing going.
But they were sealed off when they bought the house. Again in this story. This is a common thread, guys. The husband was not entirely of the belief of what was going on. I'll leave it at that. So at this point is when Andrea says that her mother was most certainly being oppressed. So if you remember from our last spooky episode, we talked about the stages of hauntings. So she was being oppressed and heavily influenced by something negative. And that whoever this entity was thought that they had or they wanted to have control of the house And if they could not gain control externally, then they would use Carolyn to do it internally. Soon Carolyn became obsessed with the house and with its history, as well as with the spirits who she thought were attached to the house and land.
I can understand that.
On a few occasions, Carolyn was visited by... Visit sounds nice, but this entity showed itself to her in a scary way.
Awesome. It just popped up.
By this creepy woman in a gray dress with hollow black eyes and no other features, with scraggly strands of hair. Like complete old and tattered and crazy looking. And get this! Exclamation mark. The first time it happened, her husband was sleeping right next to her and he didn't wake up, even though she was screaming and tugging at him. This was a really horrible incident that Andrea remembers, the daughter, because at the exact moment that this was happening, she was upstairs having some sort of a sleep paralysis episode or out of body experience, and she witnessed this happening to her mother. So
that's
like
crazy.
Spiritually witnessing it. The next morning, she saw her mother sketching an image of what she had seen, and her mother said, "Please don't talk about this to your sisters." After the incident of this attack happened, their father woke up and discovered he had horrible scratches on his back.
Because the dumbass didn't wake up.
Carolyn said that these were a result of the entity. Even this did not make him fully believe that it was paranormal. He was in like extreme denial at this point.
But still living in the house.
But I will give another, I don't know if this is like a foreshadowing thing, but like he was the one to have to go and fix the heating. And he was the one with scratches on his back. He was also the one experiencing the least amount of the violence. So I'll just say that. Oh, and I literally do say that in the next point. It was thought that perhaps this darker dominant entity may have had a thing for Roger because he barely had any experiences, the scratches on his back, and then the overtly resentful energy towards his wife. Okay, now enter the Warrens.
Our favorite.
I spoke briefly about Ed and Lorraine Warren in our previous episode about the Devil Made Me Do It case, but basically Ed was a renowned demonologist and Lorraine was a psychic medium. Together, they would investigate people's homes and try to help them to understand and or get rid of the paranormal activity in their lives.
These people need them.
These people needed them. So the parents weren't actually the ones to bring in the Warrens. And this is, I feel like everything that surrounds this house, like we talk about often, like synchronicities and things lining up. But like everything that surrounds this house is like, just like crazy. This is crazy. Crazy coincidental. So the parents were not the ones to bring in the Warrens. It was actually an amateur group of investigators who were there investigating the house that had invited Ed and Lorraine to look into it. But it's actually a mystery as to how those amateur investigators even showed up to the house. Because they claim that Carolyn had called them after she put out an ad about investigating, but she says that she never did. So, like, weird things are happening.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, these guys were amateurs in ghost hunting and communication, but Andrea Perrin remembers that their presence in the house kicked up the activity even more. She says one of the guys drew the sign of the cross on the upstairs windows, and then all of a sudden, windows and doors started opening and slamming, and her younger sister, I believe it was Cindy, was hit and knocked over by something. Like, something invisible,
oh my god,
but physically knocked over.
Oh shit.
Now, the Warrens... Now, the Warrens were brought in because this was starting to get serious. So, Lorraine Warren was the one who explained the sort of attachment of the female dark being onto Carolyn, the mother. She described this as an oppression and said this spirit had a lot of influence on her. The reason people have associated this entity with Bathsheba is because Lorraine Warren had said that this was likely her.
Oh, okay.
Now, a lot of people blame Lorraine as being kind of the holder of this case.
Starter of it? Yeah.
Yes. But as we know about psychics and things like that, like, it's not as clear as you 100% know something or you 100% see something, or like it's hard to do that. And it's not like a streamlined, straightforward thing to have or to get information. Sometimes it's like getting information in bits and pieces. And maybe she made like a bad judgment call. I think probably she did, by saying, yeah, it's this spirit.
This specific one. She could have just sensed her in one part.
However, even the Perrin family doesn't really believe that to be true. They believe that it was another much darker entity, not Bathsheba. Now, they are more of the belief that this was actually Miss Arnold, the original Arnold, wife of John Arnold, who owned the estate after the Richardsons. This would kind of make the most sense, in my opinion, because she was the original woman of the house, and possibly why she feels so threatened by any other woman who could replace her. And, like, obviously we don't know 100% how spirits interact or how they perceive things, but if she's not 100% aware of, she's not in the physical world anymore, or she, like, really shouldn't have, like, an impact on what's going on, like, maybe her spirit doesn't understand that, so she's still trying to be, I'm the woman of the house.
I'm here.
This is my house. And now there's, like, a random lady
there's a lot of random ladies
sleeping in my house and opening up my fireplaces.
All my fireplaces have been open. Who does she think she is touching them?
But also she has a hot husband, so
he's pretty good looking.
That's another thing.
You know, while I'm at it,
Roger. So the Warrens could see what was going on and how it was immensely impacting the family. And I guess they were really trying to help, but that's not exactly what happened. It said that there were at least a dozen spirits in the house at one time. There were the main entities, and then sometimes ghosts would seemingly pass through only once and never come back, or only a couple times and never come back.
Portal.
So exactly like we said.
Portal.
We solved this case. Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap this bitch up.
The Warrens made many, many visits to the house, and Lorraine Warren in an interview said, "I knew the house was haunted. All I had to do was walk into it."
Well, yeah, girl.
Carolyn says that Lorraine was very sweet and gentle with the children as well, and that she very quickly picked up on what was going on and began warning Carolyn of the angry spirit there. Lorraine said that they were basically trying to find the root cause of all of this, which seemed to be that dark entity targeting Carolyn. Carolyn felt that this entity had put a curse onto her, and she claims that the spirit said to her, among other threatening things, "Next time we meet, you two shall be dead."
Oh, damn.
Damn. The Warrens would continue to investigate and gather information on the happenings for over a year, until one particular event had everyone in shock.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I need an intermission to take a sip.
This podcast is brought to you by The Thirsty Buddha. Sarah's sipping on.
No free promotions. You guys have to sponsor us.
Sarah's sipping on. I'm sipping on.
Oh yeah, what are you sipping on? Let's do our little...
What? Intermission?
An intermission. What are you sipping on today?
Today I am sipping on The Thirsty Buddha Sparkling Coconut Water Peach Mango.
Slay. I am also sipping on the Thirsty Buddha Sparkling Coconut Water, but mine is lime.
Woo! It's kind of like margarita.
It's a margarita.
Oh my gosh. Tipsy Buddha, come on.
Yeah. We're here with the ideas.
We're making
Also, I just love lime.
all of the money.
And coconut.
So
Put
good.
the lime in the coconut and shake the shit up. Coconut.
Guys weren't
Call
ready
me
for
in
this.
the morning.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. We hope that you guys are enjoying this really spooky episode. Let us know what you guys are sipping on. Mackenzie is shaking her head no. She is not enjoying the spooky.
I'm trying.
She's trying her best.
It's not that easy.
Okay. Now that we've had our little light and bright intermission, back into the spookiness. So, I mentioned the Warrens were gathering as much information as they could find on all of the paranormal activity, and also like the history of the house, the family accounts, things like that.
Deep diving, just
They were
on
deep
everything
diving.
going on.
And I do believe that they were working with that amateur investigation group because they themselves have people to document things, but they were kind of working with it was a lot of people in the house.
Yeah.
However, there was one specific situation that happened that left the family shocked and did not help in the way that it could have. So let's get into the seance.
Awesome.
So, contrary to what the movie shows, there was no exorcism done on Carolyn or on the house. And I have to note this, in all of the interviews, Ed and Lorraine Warren said they would never have done this on their own. They would always have an exorcism done by a priest. So the movies got that part wrong. But what they did do was some sort of a seance. They had brought in a priest and a medium and a whole crew to film and record this process.
Good.
Andrea Perrin says they likely opened a door that they were 1, not prepared for, and 2, could not close. We've said it before. Don't open doors you don't know how to close. So, they set up all of their equipment and began this seance session in the dining room. This medium, whoever she was,
Not Lorraine.
it was not Lorraine, invited the spirits in and inadvertently invited in something much darker and not of this physical world. Now, the Nice job. Now, all of the daughters were told to go upstairs while this was happening, but all of them, of course, were watching from the stairs, and all of them saw this whole thing happen. So the seance starts, and the medium is conjuring all the spirits to come in so that they can identify who the mastermind or the main entity is, I guess. Now, the girls said that the dining room table began to lift off of the floor and then dropped heavily and violently back down onto the ground. Then the chair that Carolyn was sitting in began to levitate as well, and she was obviously terrified and crying and freaking out, as one would be.
I'm about to be.
When suddenly her head dropped down and snapped back up, and she began speaking in tongues. At this point, Andrea says it was apparent that evil had completely taken over her, and had it wanted to kill her, it could have. She believes it wanted to make its presence known to the Warrens specifically, perhaps because they like to challenge dark things. Well, the medium collapsed, and all of the candles on the table had been completely blown out all at once. The priest was shaking in his boots in the corner.
I'm shaking in my boots in the corner right now. I feel him. Of course you would be.
The video and audio guys had mostly run into the other room while one tried to capture what he could, so just one stayed. Carolyn's chair lifted up and then shot her back about 20 feet, throwing her into the next room.
Oh my gosh.
They said that her head hit the floor, and I guess she was unconscious at this point, but Andrea claims that at that moment, everybody in the house thought that she had just died.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So this whole ordeal caused Roger to yell at everybody to get out. It's said that he even punched Ed Warren. Goodness. After this, the Warrens never came back. The film crew went... Okay, so this is after this whole incident. Everybody is trying to get out. There is like a scene in the movie where he's yelling at everybody, and it's kind of like a... They're like, shit, like, yeah, we gotta go. Like,
gotta go.
Everybody's trying to grab their things. So the film crew went into the cellar to get all of their equipment that they had been storing down there. And all of the cameras and the tapes and all of their equipment was in pieces.
Oh my.
So they had nothing. Now, Andrea says that she thinks the Warrens were good people and they really did try to help them, but she believes that they were just in over their heads. And in a situation where the Perrin family couldn't leave and the father was not entirely interested in getting help. But what happened that night she describes as spiritual malpractice, basically. They opened up something that they should not have. So this is after the seance and after the Warrens. After this point, the Warrens didn't come back. So I think they were probably like, we tried to help, we just fucked shit up even more.
It's really bad.
It's really bad. So Roger kicked them out, and really the whole family was feeling like they were making it worse rather than helping. Whatever dark thing was invited into the house by the seance made the rest of the activity pretty much stop for a while, like for months. but then it started to pick up again. Andrea Perrin says the experience after all of this that sparked her mother to start fighting back or finding herself was when she had an experience walking into their living room. This is the mother, and she's looking into the kitchen where she saw kind of a vision of a family eating dinner, and it was totally unknown people to her. There was a mother cooking and children and 2 men sitting at the table. One of the men spotted her and nudged the other man to look and pointed directly at her. In that moment, she realized that to them, she was the ghost. I just got chills.
Wow.
Andrea explained that the family was all Catholic and baptized and everything, but that her mother was pretty much an atheist. She says that all the things that they experienced in the house made them all walk away with a greater connection to God, basically, and to like spirit in general.
You know,
and,
that's
like,
one way to look at the positive
Yeah.
out of everything. Oh my gosh.
In 1980, they finally moved out and went to Georgia after Carolyn saying that she would not survive another cold winter in that house.
That was why they left?
It was too cold. I would leave a house if it
Oh,
was
I
too
would
cold.
leave if it was too cold, but like, I feel like there are so many other things that would have justified leaving.
Unfortunately, after they moved out, Roger and Carolyn split soon after. The Arnold home was bought and sold a couple times after the parents had left. Now, I'm going to get into sort of the event and things. So, like, this is real life. Okay?
Okay.
So, after the parents left, the new owners of the home, at one point, Norma and Gary, claimed a lot of voices and footsteps and doors closing on their own, their chairs vibrating, and both of them claimed that they saw a blue light shoot across their bedroom. They even once saw a dark, foggy mist. In 2000, okay, I didn't set that up great, but Norma and Gary were the new owners of the house after, I don't know if they were immediately after
But
the parents, but this was like, people who owned the house who like notably had experiences or talked about them at least. So in 2005, they even invited ghost hunters to investigate. That's that old ass show. I used to watch that when I was a kid. Ghost Hunters. With the bald guy.
Yeah, I think I
And
know
they're
which
like,
one you're
it's like
talking
they have
about.
like a plumbing van.
Yeah, I think I know exactly which one you're talking
I
about.
love that. That's where my lore started. Okay. After the Conjuring movie came out, they had a very hard time with people showing up and trespassing, obviously trying to get a peek at the ghosts.
Yeah, I get that.
Especially at night. They actually sued Warner Brothers over this because they drew unwanted attention to the house. After them, the house was bought by Corey and Jennifer Heinzen in 2019. They were into paranormal stuff, so they restored the house to make it kind of into an attraction, tourist attraction. At this point, they invited the Ghost Adventures guys to investigate, and they caught a lot of voices and strange noises, and that weird black foggy mist. This couple had a lot of experiences as well and had a hard time staying there. So things like footsteps, knocks, noises, flashing lights in rooms that don't even have lights.
Yeah, I wouldn't be staying there.
They were having lots and lots of people coming to investigate and tour the house, but it was overwhelming for them. So they sold it. Understandable. Their home became a tourist attraction.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Jacqueline Nunez purchased the house in 2022 and had been running it as a haunted attraction since then. She doesn't live in the house because of the activity, but it seems like she has an unhealthy connection to the house. So, tons and tons of investigators and YouTubers and amateur ghost enthusiasts have investigated the Conjuring house. Us.
Including us.
Are you sure you want to go there after this?
No, I don't want to go there.
I mean, I do, but
This is me investigating it.
just looking at pictures.
From afar. It's like I'm there. It's enough.
If you see photos of the Perrin family in front of the house, it's actually a really cute farmhouse with white siding, but now it's all like brown wood and it looks really creepy. Now I will say that they have been making a shitload of money by marketing this house and enhancing the spooky appearance. But lots of evidence has been gathered here of both good and bad energies. Now, I spoke a lot about Andrea Perrin during this episode, and it's true that she is the main spokesperson for what happened here. She has 3 books written about her experiences, and she has done a few really good interviews over the years. She did a really lovely interview on the Two Girls, One Ghost podcast, and honestly, she's extremely sweet and very well spoken, and she explains even more of the tiny details and experiences that they obviously didn't show in the movie, and more than what we could cover today. I will also use any excuse to bring up the Two Girls, One Ghost podcast. Shout out to Sabrina and Corinne, because that episode is really great, as are all of their episodes. I would encourage you guys to watch some of the real interviews with Andrea Perron, because the articles don't really do this story justice. There's also a lot of misinformation about this whole situation, and because of the movie, some of the lines are blurred between the fact and the movie dramatics.
Over embellish story.
Yeah. Andrea is a really sweet lady, and honestly, watching her talk about these experiences made me believe it even more. I'm already like a firm believer, but this was like
Hearing it from the person.
it was like really, she's really cool. As always, we are open to discussions, but especially with stories like this that are recent, like they've happened in our lifetime and they involve real people, please be respectful. The one thing Andrea Perron really talks about in her interviews, and I know that Sam and Colby, the YouTubers, did a video investigating at the Conjuring house and kind of along the lines of this theme, and what we believe to be true is that love is the purpose of it all, and love will always overcome fear and hate and evil. I think that's a lovely message to take away from this whole life and afterlife, and the dark spirits and good spirits and whatever the fuck. Love above everything.
Let us know what you guys think about today's creepy, spooky story. It was spooky. I was scared. There were moments I almost cried. But we made it through. We did it. I'm happy.
We made it through. It wasn't as long as I thought it would be, but I think it was good.
We made it through. We're going to have to give a little spooky disclaimer.
Yes.
But it was good. We made it through. In our various sources, Instagram and email, let us know.
Oh, yes.
Any stories, what you think about the episode, all of that fun stuff. And until next time, our twitchy witchy friends, stay spooky and don't let your tea get cold.